Goodbye, my young nigga.
So this happened July 8th, 2023, I believe. And it's one of the craziest things, not the craziest, but one of the craziest things that I've actually had to deal with as a guy. I'm just going to be telling you the story. I'm going to be telling you guys how I felt, everything. Yeah, this happened July 8th, a couple days before my birthday. So if you guys are new to this channel, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for all the support. We'll get right into the video. I was coming home. This was at the time when I was looking into starting a car detailing business. Me and my friend were kind of just doing whatever. We're kind of just trying to hustle, grind, start something, really just put in the work. We're really just doing some random shit. And it was at the time when I worked at a warehouse, so I was just living my life, working, hustling, trying to get more money, trying to do things. And you know, I don't know if you guys have ever worked in a warehouse, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're in a warehouse, you're thinking about everything but your job. You're just so bored. You're focused on other things. Your mind is going here, your mind is going there, and you're just trying to think of things you can do to change your whole life. To be honest, it was just a bunch of nonsense, but that was my situation at the time. I worked a warehouse job, and yeah, I was chilling. So at the time, I was coming back from looking at a car. I was looking to purchase a car for my mom. I believe it was a Honda Civic or something like that. Yeah, it was a Honda Civic. And me and my friend had checked out the car. The people who were selling the car said, yeah, they'll let me know when they're willing to actually sell the car. And I was like, yeah, that's chill. I dropped off my friend and I was driving through the back roads. And keep in mind, this was the chillest day. Like, the sun was just above. It was around summertime, so yeah, it was still sunny outside. And I think it was around 5-6. I forgot what time it was, but it was around the evening times, to be exact. I was driving back home, and I was driving back to go pick up my girlfriend. She was at work, and I was driving back. So basically, I was just whipping through the back roads. There was no rush to anything. Like, I was literally just chilling. I remember the song I was listening to. I was listening to a song by Scory, and it was called Bandcamp. I think it's an unreleased track, but yeah, I had that song rolling in the background, and I was kind of just chilling. And there was a car in front of me, and this is how I know for a fact I had stopped at the stop sign. There was a car in front of me, and the car stopped and then went. When the car went, I stopped too. And I remember vividly looking left and right. Keep in mind, I'm the person who has the stop sign. So, like, what occurred, it would be automatically marked as my fault in an accident. So what happened was, I stopped, I looked both ways, and I noticed the car was far gone. That's how long I waited, because there was a car that passed right before I proceeded, after I looked both ways. And then when I proceeded and I went, right before I hit the intersection, like the other side, 2 motorcycles had crashed into me. Yes, 2 motorcycles crashed into me. It was the craziest thing. And the thing is, I did not see them. I did not hear them coming. Nothing. It was like, boom, just sound. And I got out, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, what the hell? And then I kept proceeding. Like, I went to the side of when I went fully to the other side and I parked my car, I came out, I hopped out my whip, I was just like, what the hell? I look behind me, I see 2 guys laying on the pavement. I was like, ain't no way. How did this shit happen? How did this actually happen? I was just like, what the fuck? What just happened? In my head, right before I got out the car, all I could think was, did an animal just freaking ram my car? Because there was no explanation. I looked both ways before I proceeded. I looked both ways. I looked to the left, I looked to the right. A car even passed. I remember a car driving that way, and I was just like, okay. And then I waited and I went. And then when I went and I was about to hit the other side, that's when all of that happened. So back to what I was saying. When I came out of the car, I'd seen two guys laying on the pavement, and I was freaking out, like internally. In my head, I didn't understand how the hell this is possible. I was just like, bro, what the frick? And what's crazy is I had just got this car, and you know young guys, I think I was around 18. I was turning 19. Yeah, I was 18 turning 19. So I just bought an Infiniti G35 2007. It was a lit car. It was fast. Like, I was trying to pimp that car, but at the time I hadn't had anything modified in the car at the time. I was planning to make the car better, customize the car internally, do some extra shit that I really didn't have to do, but yeah, you know the gist. But yeah, at the time I had an Infiniti G35 2007, and I was like, bro, my car is ruined. And the thing is, like, I was broke as hell because I had used majority of my money at the time I had at the time to buy that car. Like, I did not know why I did that, but at the same time, I was just happy to have a car I liked at the time. But I know I'm going off topic, but yeah, when I hopped out the car and I saw these guys laying on the ground, all I could think is, what the hell happened? So I ran over to the guys. I'm like, yo, are you okay? One of them wasn't responding. One of them was like, oh, my leg. I think something's fucked up. I was like, bro, like, are you good? So a car that came from behind me, that came from the stop sign I stopped at, came, and she's like, is everything okay? She didn't see the accident. And what's crazy is that she's actually related to my girlfriend. That woman was related to my girlfriend, but she didn't see the accident, so she wasn't able to help me in any kind of way. So she's like, okay, have you called the police? I'm like, no, I haven't. She's like, okay, call them right now, get people down here and stuff. So I'm like, okay. I'm stressing, bro. Like, my body is just going through the motions. My thoughts are just spinning. I can't even think. And my girlfriend was expecting me to pick her up because she was coming from work. And she was just like, she didn't know what was going on because I didn't tell her at the time. And I was just thinking. So what I did was help the guy. A couple people had come at the time. A lot of people were parking on the side because, bro, there was like, my car pieces were scattered all over the place. I'm going to show you a photo of how my car looked, and you guys can kind of picture how the accident took place, right? Like, these guys ran into my car, like, and it was just like, psh, like, they flew over. It's crazy. So there's pieces of metals all over the ground. So I dragged one of the dudes out from the roadside, and another person comes and helps me with the other guy. And yeah, I'm on the phone with the police. I'm like, hey, I explained it. They're like, okay, stay there. And like, I don't know if I could explain it for you guys to understand, but you know how in a movie when you're standing and everything around you is just happening in like, I don't know if it's slow motion or fast motion, but you're just paused. Like, your brain, you just can't imagine this happen. I was like, bro, is this literally a dream, bro? Like, because in my head, I never wanted to hurt anybody. Like, I just didn't want to. I was just minding my own business, hustling. I was thinking about my mama car. Like, bro, I was just trying to take care of my people. I was just trying to literally do things that would benefit myself and people around me. So hurting someone and doing some shit like that was the last thing on my mind. I was like, bro. And so what happened was, this cop came to the scene, and then he was like super aggressive. He had grabbed me. He's like, yo, come with me. So I come with him. I thought he wanted to talk to me. He's like, you have to come in here. He puts me in the back seat. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't commit a crime. Like, I stopped. I called the police. I did everything I was supposed to do. I called the ambulance, whatever, people who were supposed to be here to help everybody. Like, I called what I was supposed to do, and I didn't evacuate the scene. So why are you putting me in the back of the car seat? Like, why am I in the cop car, in the back of the cop car? In my head, I'm like, yo. So a cop comes to the car, and he's like grabbing shit from the front. He's just like doing the shit. I'm like, yo, man, it's like, why am I back here? He's like, yeah, who are you? I'm like, I was in an accident. He's like, yeah, why are you back here? He takes me out. He's like, hold on, we'll get to you. But he's like, he was kind of confused why that guy put me there. So I call my boy Paras. I'm like, yo, bro, I just got into an accident. And what's crazy is like, he said, drive safe, don't crash, right before I left. And I said, nah, I wouldn't. Right? And like, it was kind of shocking to just be calling him back. And when I called him, I was like, yo, bro, like, I just got into an accident, so-and-so back road, can you come? This. He's one of my good friends. I consider him like a brother to me. My brother was not, like, my actual brother, my blood brother was, I think he wasn't in the city at the time. I don't remember. I think he was all the way in a different, I don't know if he was in a work site or something, but he wasn't there at the time. But yeah, my boy slid for me, and he was like, when he came to the scene, he was like, bro, there was cops everywhere, ambulance, firefighters, everything was crazy, bro. I was just like standing there, and I couldn't imagine how all of this could turn into this, right? And I'm just like, bro, are these guys okay who crashed into me? And like, I'm just like, damn, like, this is serious, right? So my boy comes to the scene, and like that same cop that put me to the back seat goes up to him. He's like, yo, he's like, where's my friend Joel? He's like, you can't talk to him. You can't talk to him, right? So he's like, and then obviously eventually he comes to me. He's like, yo, that cop was telling me I can't talk. I'm like, bro, just leave him. I don't know who that cop is or like why he was behaving like that. If I could file a complaint, I will, because he was just making the situation a lot worse than it really needed to be. Like, all he had to do was ask for information if he was there to try and like talk to me and see what happened, not just put me away in the back. Like, what are you gonna get? You trying to send me to jail because I was involved in a collision that I wasn't even drinking, I wasn't intoxicated in any kind of way. It was kind of just extra for no reason. So back to what I was saying. So yeah, me and my friend were chopping it up. He was telling me, yo, what happened? I explained. The cops were asking me what happened. I explained. I told them, look, I looked both ways. I waited for my turn. I proceeded when I was supposed to go. These guys must have been speeding. And this is all I can literally tell you. These guys were speeding, bro. There's no other way I could literally tell you, because I was literally on the other side going to the thing, and I hear the boom. I didn't see these guys. Like, think about it. Why would I go when these guys are coming? Why? And like, if they weren't speeding, wouldn't they just be able to slow down? Because the road, I think the road was like an 80. So they were definitely driving like probably like 120, right? And when I said that to a cop, they're like, oh, they would have died if they crashed into you. I'm like, not necessarily, because they could have slowed down, but they just were driving too fast in order to evade the actual accident, if you get where I'm coming from. But I'm not here to throw blame or say these guys did this guys did this. I'm just telling you guys the situation of how I pretty much got sued for 1 million but beat the case. And it was crazy. And I know my insurance will cover most of it, but when I was talking to the people who were on my team, they're like, bro, it's not looking good for you and stuff. And I just didn't know what to do. I've been dealing with this case for like about 2 years. So ever since from when I turned 19, like a couple months passed, and then they contacted me and they said, yo, this is what's going on. And then I think when I was 20, I got a letter saying you're being sued by the 2 motorcycle guys. It was crazy. And to this day, I'm just hoping these guys are good. Like, I don't wish no ill intent on these guys. Like, I hope they're okay, and I hope they got what they wanted out of the situation. You know, I hope they were satisfied, they were able to go back and live their lives like they always did, you know. But yeah, these guys then sued me, and I remember at that time I was like, damn, bro, how can I be taking this much of an L? Like, imagine having to pay back maybe even 100 grand, maybe even 50, and like, just instead of me investing that time on other things, that money on other things, I'm here paying something that could have been so avoided, you know. If I just stayed at home that day, none of that would have happened. Maybe if they just stayed at home that day, none of that would have happened. And like that was my thought process throughout the whole situation. And the reason I'm sharing you is because I got home from work, and I was kind of just like taking a shower. Got out of the shower, I received a call, and I thought someone was calling me because of my business I'm working on. And like when I picked up the call, it was the lawyer. He was like, "Yo, they're done. We got rid of them. Like, they're out of your life. Forget about it. Don't say anything." And I was just like, damn. And what's crazy is because I was praying about the whole situation. I was like, God, please slide for me. Be there for me. And it just shows that anything can change. Anything can change. So the reason I'm making this video is to tell you guys that if you're in a predicament, you feel like you can't overcome a hill you're walking upwards, but you feel like it's never ending, anything can happen, man. So just believe, man. We all have to start having unwavering faith in God and in ourselves. We have to understand that whatever will happen, we will overcome. And at the end of the day, the mindset I had was, fuck it. Like, if I get sued and I have to pay maybe $100,000, I have to pay $200,000 because it went over my insurance at the time I had for my car. Hold on, someone's freaking scamming me. If I got sued at the time, I would just make the money. I would just have to make the money. And I'm still on that mindset. I am going to make the money. So regardless, everything is a lesson. Next time, maybe I wouldn't drive as much. Watch out. Be completely more careful. And it was a lesson to those guys. Maybe they won't speed when it's not safe to. They'll just be more cautious. Like, this is for all of you guys, people who have motorcycles. Just be careful, man. Things can turn into serious situations if you don't watch out. And yeah, that's how I almost got sued for $1 million, but I beat it. That's how I got sued for $1 million, but I beat the case, man. If you guys are new to this channel, like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for all the support. Take care. Gang.